What up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and we are here today with a brand new review for Power Book 4 Force You Guys Season 2, Episode 9. An episode is titled No Loose Ends, you guys. So before we go ahead and get into this review, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel and you guys aren't subscribed yet, then I need you guys to do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know the routine. You can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and also by turning on your post notifications. And with that out of the way, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this episode of Power Book 4 Force, shall we? All right, guys, so this episode was like really good, and I don't even know where to start up. So I guess we'll start up with 2728 piece, aka Stacy. AKA Stacy, you guys, right? So Stacy went to Bobby and she's telling Bobby like, hey, I got an arrest warrant. And Bobby is looking at her like, you got an arrest warrant for what? For Tommy. And he was like, but when you talk to Vic, you didn't really give Vic a choice. So this is not really the right way to go about it. And she says, I need to make a move before Tommy takes out another one of our own. And he was like, Stacy, now don't try that ish with me, right? He told her, if you go through with this, Stacy, I will go and testify against you that you're doing this unethically. He says, what I want you to do is, if you want to arrest Tommy, I need you to do this by the book, right? And so she left it at that. So next up, we see 2728 piece, and she has a warrant. So she wants to put a bug into Tommy's place. So now they have to figure out a way to infiltrate Tommy's loft. But the Asian guy that works with her, he told her that that's not going to be possible because they've been surveilling Tommy, right? So they know that Tommy got cameras here, and even even some on his car. So it's not going to be easy for them to infiltrate Tommy's home. So then Stacy, aka 2728 piece, she was like, well, how about we use Vic? Bobby was like, Victor, that would be risky. I was like, exactly, that would be so risky. Victor is your CI. And so you're at this point, you're trying to get Vic made because without Vic, you have no case. Like you can get all this evidence, but without Victor, you will have nothing. So if Tommy were to pow, Vic, what do you have, 2728 piece? That's right, not a damn thing. So we then see Vic, so he's talking to the feds and he's giving Stacy his new number. I'll come back to his new number in just a little bit, right? So Stacy, 2728 piece, is telling Vic like, hey, I need you to put a bug into Tommy's house. And Vic is looking at her like, that's not going to be easy. And I'm thinking to myself like, lady, you do realize the more that you're doing, you're going to get Victor caught up. And again, without Vic, without your CI, you have no case because you have nobody to testify. You just have a recording. You will have nothing in court. So I don't know what's going on with Stacy. So next up, the next thing that we see with Victor was spilling all the business to Stacy. And again, like I said, I'll come back to this and I'll make everything clear because he's telling her something that happened with Miguel. And like I said, I'll definitely discuss Miguel a little bit in depth. So she's telling him that she wants to catch Tommy. So with this situation with Tommy, she wants to catch Tommy in the act with the cartel, making a deal. And so I was like, really? Now, meanwhile, while they're talking, Tommy is sitting across the street and he's looking at them. I was like, ooh, shit, Vic. I think that's going to be your ass, buddy. I really feel like that's going to be your ass. But that's it. Let's pause here and I'll make all that stuff clear in just a little bit. But let's pause here and let's move forward, you guys. All right, you guys, so next up, I guess we'll talk about Maria and Miguel. So we see Maria. So Maria was going off on Miguel. I don't know what he was eating, but whatever he was eating had a lot of sugar in it. And she was telling him, like, you know that has a lot of sugar in it. So we see him talking to the abuela, and he's telling her that he invited Diamond over. And she's like, why would you invite Diamond over? So what Miguel wants to do is he wants to get Diamond by himself to have a conversation with Diamond to see if Diamond is truly loyal to Tommy. If he isn't, then he can get Diamond to flip and come over and work with his organization, and that way they can cut Tommy out completely. I was like, I don't necessarily know if that's going to happen, but good luck with that, right? So then after that, we see Maria, And actually, at that particular time, if he was like, if he can get Tommy away, if he can get Vic, not Vic, but Diamond away from Tommy, then what he'll do is he will, go to Che and whatnot and make a deal, and then he will just basically eliminate Tommy, right? And Maria overheard that. So Maria went back to Tommy's crib and she asked him about Lakeisha. And she said, where is she? Are you still in love with her? He says she wasn't cut out for this lifestyle and Lakeisha is deceased, right? So he told her she was a girl that he was going to marry. And then she told him that the U.S. attorney told her to ask him about Lakeisha, and she also warned her about him. So then she also told him about what's going on with Miguel, how Miguel is planning to take him out. And so he's like, so are you trying to make a choice? And so she was like, yes. And she told him, you're the first person that ever really sees me for who I am. So I'm sticking with you. I was like, wow, Maria, you're going to ditch your own flesh and blood for some DICK. Cool. So then after that, so we see Miguel. So Miguel is talking to Abuela. Now, I forgot to mention earlier that Abuela wanted to drive, wanted to, go around in his car, right? But he told her that Nunez had the car. So then we see as when Diamond got there, he told her Diamond is here and, Nunez is back. So, go talk to Nunez. So Grandma went outside, right? And when she went outside, there was a guy there by the car. And she says, where's Nunez at? He says he didn't know. So Abuela got in the car and she was going to drive herself. Bad mistake, sis. Mama got in that car, turned that ignition over, and boom! The car just exploded. I was like, ooh, shit. Girl, I know you did. Like, burnt to a crisp. Kind of felt bad for Abuela a little bit. So Miguel came out and he was livid, right? And so going back in, before he came out to the explosion, he was talking to Diamond, right? And he was asking Diamond, like, how committed are you to Tommy? And, Diamond was like, why are you asking me these questions? And he says, well, what I'm trying to do is get you to come and work with Ice, you and CBI to come link up with Ice Princess. That way we can cut Tommy out, right? And so he told him, I'm trying to make a merger. So at this point, it's up to you to make a decision on what you want to do. Meanwhile, like I said, Abuela, she is, barbecue at this point, right? So then we see Tommy, and so Tommy is talking to Maria, and he's telling her to stay with him, right? Because he feels like somebody within Miguel's organization is working with the Serbs. And so he told her, he gave her the security codes to his place, and then Maria figured it out. She said, Nunez. I was like, how did she figure that out? But it was really, when you think about it, Nunez was supposed to drive Abuela around, and he wasn't there before the car blew up. So I was like, you know what, Maria? You're absolutely 100% correct, because I finally thought about it. So then we see Che. So the Serbs are the one who's behind this, right? And I'll clear that up in just a little bit. So we saw at the end, towards the end of the episode, Miguel was giving the opportunity to take the Serbs out, right? Take out Merkovich, but Miguel didn't take Merkovich out, right? And so Miguel is telling him, like, you fucked up. And now he's working with, this cartel. I'll get to the cartel in just a minute that they're working with because I can't remember the name. I think it's the Marquez cartel, right? So he's like, you fucked up. So Tommy showed up with Nunez basically telling them, like, hey, there was a rat in your organization and this is the motherfucker that was the rat. And so Che is looking at him like, how the fuck did the white boy know that there was a rat in your organization and you didn't fucking know? I was like, exactly. So they took Nunez out, right? And so we get back. So Tommy went back to his place. He told Maria that the situation is handled, right? But he wants her to stay there with him. And then she's, telling him about, how she would like to go to Barcelona. Meanwhile, while this is going on, Stacy is listening to the conversation and she's talking to Bobby and asking Bobby, like, what do you think that they're talking about? And they don't really know at this point, right? So then Tommy got a text message from Jenny Sue with phone records. And like I said, I'll clear that up once we get towards the end of the episode. But let's pause here and let's move forward, you guys. All right, you guys. So next up, we see Merkovich in this episode. So Merkovich was at one of the clubs that Claudia is, dealing the powder out of, right? So he's trying to make a deal with the Marquez cartel. Markovich doesn't have any products because of Che cutting him off, right? So he's trying to get product. And Claudia happens to come up while he's in the middle of the conversation, and Claudia was able to help him broker this deal. So when the guy from the Marquez cartel left, Markovich told her, the money for that deal, you got to come up with all of it. If you don't come up with all of it, the protection that you got from me, it's a wrap, right? I was like, Markovich, you ain't shit. You guys, I really can't stand Markovich, right? Because Claudia was like, you forced your way into my business, so I'm just doing the same to you. So then we get back over to Claudia. So she's talking to Shanti and her girlfriend. And so, she's letting Shanti know about the Marquez deal, right? And she's telling them at this point, when we go to pick up the drugs, we got to have all the money. And Shanti's like, girl, what the fuck am I get all that money from? And so her girlfriend was like, I can get it. And she was like, Becky, wasn't nobody talking to you. And the girl's like, bitch, don't talk to me like that and don't call me Becky. So she also told her how Markovich was at the club and she saw an opportunity and she jumped on it, right? She's also telling Shanti that, I need to blow my nose, you guys. All right, you guys, so Claudia is also pitching to Shanti to ditch CBI and come and work solely with her. And I was like, I don't know if that's a good idea, Claudia, because she is double-crossing you. Actually, she's double-crossing everybody. She's double-crossing you, and she's double-crossing Tommy them as well. So then we see Markovich, right? Like I said a few minutes ago, Markovich was behind the hit on Abuela. Well, technically, it wasn't Abuela that was meant for that hit. It was actually Miguel that was meant for the hit, right? So the guy only got half of the payment, and he will get the other half once, the full bounty has been collected, right? And like I said, the full bounty is Miguel's head. Miguel's head. Now, moving back over to Claudia, Claudia's girlfriend showed up with all the money for the drop. And then girl Claudia was like, why would you do this? And she's like, this is your time, and also because I'm in love with you. And they shared a little kiss with each other. And that is it with Claudia and Markovich. Actually, no, it's not. Now, remember, I told you guys earlier that I was telling you guys about Miguel when Che was going off on him. Well, the reason why Che was going off on him is because there was a hit, right? So actually, we'll clear that up when we talk about Tommy, because it ties into Tommy as well. So let's pause here and let's move forward. All right, you guys. So Tommy and Diamond. You remember last episode, Diamond slit the throat of his PO, right? So at this point, they've gotten rid of the PO, and nobody's going to be able to find that body. Now, Tommy is telling Diamond what Jenny Sue told him about there being a rat in the organization. So Tommy feels that this is Jannard. And, Diamond is like, Tommy, it's not my brother. My brother's a lot of things, but a snitch just ain't one of it. He said, maybe it's Vic. And Tommy's like, it's not Vic. I was like, Tommy, what you gonna do when you find out that it actually is Victor? Now, we see Jannard. So Jannard went to check on Diamond, right? After what happened with Leon. And Diamond is telling him, like, I'm good. So Jannard says, if there's anything that you need from me, bro, let me know. So Diamond said, find the motherfucker that killed Leon and bring him to me, right? And he said, I got you, bro. And after that, we seen Tommy. So Tommy is with the crew. So Tommy is telling them, like, hey, I need all y'all to give me y'all your burner phones, because we finna switch them motherfuckers out every day. And they were like, wait a minute, why are we finna switch out our phones? And then Diamond's like, the block is hot, right? The feds are onto us. So at this point, we got to do what we got to do. And everybody's like, you know what? That's all you have to say, nigga. Like, let us know that. It is what it is. So Diamond is asking Tommy after the meeting, like, what is the plan to find out who the rat is? So Tommy is telling Diamond that Jenny Sue has a connection at the phone company, right? And so whoever reaches out to the feds, she'll be able to get the records and she'll give it back to Tommy, right? And then after that, they'll make a move. Now, we see Diamond. So Diamond went to go see Gianna, and he was dropping off a comic book and some shoes that Leon left at the gym, right? Then that ain't shit daddy of his come out and talking about, nigga, what the fuck you doing here? Checking on the woman that you have been treating like shit and your son. Now you want to be father of the year, sir? Have 2 of these, have 3 of these, have 4, whatever you want to have, right? So he told Diamond, you might as well say your final goodbyes. And Diamond was like, what the fuck does that mean? Because he said you won't be around here much longer. Diamond was like, what the fuck does that mean? I was like, Diamond, put two and two together. If you just think about what he just said to you, that you won't be around here much longer, and think about the fact that your PO came to you, and mind you, you've been clean this entire time, but he came to you randomly to check you. Put two and two together, this raggedy ass mother right here is the one that ratted you out to your PO. Now, you guys, next up we see JP. So JP is cleaning up the crib. He found some bottles in the trash can that belonged to Kate. And then he got a call from wherever it is that D-Mac is at, right? So they're telling him that D-Mac got into a fight with some people and that he ran away and they can't find him. JP was a little too calm for me because I would have said, when the fuck did he run away and why? And are you just now calling? Why are you not just now calling me? When did my child run away? Where the hell, like, are y'all trying to find him? Like, what the fuck? Like, I would have been pissed. But JP was a little too calm for my liking, but it is what it is. Next up, Shanti. I really want to like Shanti, but I don't like Shanti all that much. She's just over the top. She's actually, I would say overzealous. She is a little overzealous. It's just a lot with Shanti, right? So she wants to use this situation with Diamond against, this situation with Leon against Diamond, but Jannard said, no, he's good. He just asked me for me to look for the little nigga that did this to him. And she was like, you know what? You're doing good. I was like, girl, you won't. Never mind. I'm going to keep my comments to myself. So, Jannard also says that, so Jannard's telling her how he's really kind of questioning just going after Tommy and leaving Diamond alone. And she's like, nigga, what the fuck? Like, I gave her my territory for this shit. I was like, calm down, slugger. Because she just be way too hyped for me. It just be like, nigga, what you gonna do? I'm like, Shanti, it's okay, baby girl. Just calm down. We good. Because he was even like, calm down, babe. So then she told him about the situation with Claudia, right? About Claudia working with the Marquez cartel, wanting to work with the Marquez cartel. And so then we see Shanti as she's telling Tommy about this, right? So Tommy wants her to continue to work with Claudia. And she was like, wait a minute, that's my reputation, so I can't work with you and work with her. He was like, okay, how about we do this? You stop working with us, so on the streets, it looks like we're mortal enemies, but behind closed doors, we still working together. And he gave her a burner phone as well. So after that, she asked him, like, what's the plan? He says, it's on a need-to-know basis, but when I'm ready to tell you what it is, I'll text you, I'll hit you up on the phone and let you know when the time is right to strike, right? Now, Tommy and Diamond, they went to Abuela's, funeral to pay their respects. Then Tommy decides to go up to Che and tell Che that he wants to take Merkovich out for what he did. And Che was like, no, Tommy. Right now, it's his personal family matters. We'll handle it when the time is right. And also, that hit is for Miguel. And so Tommy was like, okay, I got you. So when they left out, Diamond was like, Tommy, what the fuck was that? Like, they could have blew up in our faces. And, Tommy said, but it didn't. And he says, maybe we can maybe we can be the ones that can take out, Merkovich. And he said, you just heard what Chase said. He said, but what we can do is, how about we make Miguel look bad? And that's what, I'll talk about that in just a minute, right? So, at this point, Tommy wants to find out the person who put the bomb on the car. And so we see Diamond, so he went back over to the shop. When he got to the shop, the feds were there trying to figure out where's his PO at, because his note said that he was last coming to Diamond's shop. So Diamond said, yeah, he did come here because he got a bad tip that I was back with CBI. And after that, he left. And so he says, I don't know where he went to. And then Jannard came into the shop and told Diamond, gave Diamond an alibi. He said, yeah, I was here, the same night as well. So then after the feds left, Diamond told Jannard, like, yeah, I took out my PO because he found out that I was back with CBI. So after that, Jannard later in the episode came back to Diamond. He told him, he found out who killed Leon. He's not associated with anybody. So Diamond says, okay, bring him to me. And he says, and I also have a feeling I know who turned me into my PO, right? So he says, I'm going to handle that. Did he ever handle that, right? Because the next scene we see with Diamond is him with Leon's daddy. And Jannard pulled a gun on the dude, and Diamond was like, nah, don't do that. I was looking like, what are we gonna do? And I realized that they were by a body of water. I was like, ooh, sir. I was gonna say run, sir, but even if you run, somebody's liable to pop you. So you fucked like Chuck. Because that's exactly what happened. Diamond drowned the fuck out of that nigga. I was like, ooh, sweet Jesus. I would say rest in peace to you, but I don't mean it. Moving over to Tommy's place, Victor shows up, right? And so you guys remember, I just told you, Tommy wanted to find out who the rat was. And Tommy kept mentioning the rats. I was like, does he know that Vic is the rat? At this point, I was like, does he know? But he didn't. Speaking of which, Victor bugged his place. I was like, God, Victor, this is going to blow back and bite you in the ass. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think, because I think it can bite him in the ass, but then I don't know if it'll bite him in the ass. So we didn't see JP. So JP went over to Marshall's crib, right? And D-Mac was there. D-Mac is all pissed off because he said he got bruises on his body and they tried to cut his locks off, right? So JP says, look here, D-Mac, what I'll do is I'll talk to your Uncle Tommy and I'll try to smooth things over. I was like, good luck with that. Now, like I said, I've already talked about that. Now, Tommy and Victor did find Nunez, and Jesus the Christ. Yikes. This is why I always say this lifestyle would never be for me, like 100%. But JP, we see him and he's talking to Kate. So he tells Kate, like, hey, I accept your amends. And she was like, what are you talking about? He says, because he's done the same thing to D-Mac, right? He let D-Mac's mama take him away when he was a baby, and then the situation with Tommy. So he understands that. He tells her she can still stay there as well. But she can't. He said, I found D-Mac. She says, where is he? He says, I can't let you go see him. I was like, what was the purpose in telling her that you found him if she can't go see him? Doesn't make any sense, does it? Exactly. Next up, Tommy with Nunez. Oh, Jesus. Tommy had tortured the hell out of Nunez. And that is what Victor had told to 2728 piece, is the fact that Tommy had tortured Nunez. And he also revealed the fact that Nunez was the one who planted the bomb on Miguel's car. He also told her that, Miguel was the one who was supposed to take out Merkovich, and he shot up at Merkovich's restaurant, right? Now, Tommy had a butcher's knife, right? And I guess there's a tattoo in this man's head. Tommy had the knife, and he was like going into that man's scalp. I was like, oh God, that is so nasty. So he finally told them what time the meeting was, what time this hit was supposed to be. It was supposed to be at 7 o'clock, but it's 6:59. So Tommy told him, call Merkovich and tell him to get the fuck out. Meanwhile, Miguel and his people done pulled up and started blasting, right? Merkovich, somehow the little rodent was able to get away through a trap door. I was like, well, ain't that about a bitch? I kind of wanted Merkovich to just be blasted, but then I was like, do I want him to be blasted? Not necessarily, right? Now, back over with Diamond. Diamond is telling Jannard how he had a meeting with his parole board, right? And they granted him early release. I was like, well, look at that. So Jannard is talking to Diamond about what happened over at Merkovich's restaurant, right? And so at this point, Jannard is trying to put a little seed of doubt in Diamond's head about Tommy, because he's talking about that white boy's making moves on his own. And Diamond was like, he was doing that because I was otherwise occupied. So he's holding it down. And so Jannard told him, like, hey, so that little nigga that killed Leon, right? I told you he wasn't affiliated with nobody, right? But he is connected to somebody that's a part of the coalition. And if you go after him, that's not going to be good for the coalition. So he asked him, who is he? He said he's King Kilo's nephew, right? Now, moving back over to Tommy, right? Remember, I told you guys that Jenny Sue had texted Tommy and told him that she got the phone records, right? So Tommy met up with Jenny Sue, and Jenny Sue showed him the phone records, and he was under the impression that it was Shanti, right? Tommy, you're halfway right. You're halfway right to not trust her. But she said, no, it's this phone right here, and we all know whose phone that is. It's Victor's phone, you guys. But that was the episode, you guys. Next week is the season finale, you guys. I really have to say that this season of Power Book 4 Force, I really enjoyed it. It was much better than season 1. Because season 1, it was just very slow. And then when we got to the end, that's where all the action was. But this season, season 2, was amazing. I've enjoyed it immensely, you guys. So next week is the season finale of book 4 Force, and then you guys know on December 1st we get season 3 of, or is it season? Let's see, what season are we on Raising Canaan? I think we're on season 3, you guys, right? Because season 1 was in 2021, right? 22, 23. Yeah, so we're in the 3rd season of Raising Canaan, you guys. I did see the trailer for Raising Canaan. It wasn't a whole lot in the trailer that I saw, but I did see Rock and Unique with each other, so I'm curious to see how that plays out. But yeah, you guys, that is it for this episode review of Power Book 4 Force. Let me know what you guys thought about it down in the comment section. Subscribe to the channel, turn your post notifications on, and share the video, you guys. And until the next time, stay safe up there. Take care of yourselves. Wash your hands, be blessed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. And I do apologize that this video is late. I meant to watch it yesterday, but you guys remember, if you guys watched my Love and Mayor Tunnsville video, I had a sore throat, and I'm feeling better today. But today when I got up, I just said, hey, let's do Potomac and Married to Medicine. That's why I uploaded Married to Medicine first, Potomac second, and then I was coming back to this. So I was backtracking. So yeah, you guys, we are here. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought about this episode, and I will catch you guys in the next one, you guys.